YouTube, it's Jay Narissa back with another video, and today we're talking about why I stopped eating dairy. So, when I was in elementary school, I was diagnosed with eczema, and I had various ointments and things to kind of keep it at bay and make sure that I wasn't having flare ups. And after middle school, I literally rarely had a flare up with eczema. Fast forward from middle school until I'm in my 30s, my body has completely gone haywire. I don't know what it is about being over 30, but your body is like, yeah. Yeah, I'm about to turn this thing up a little bit and make your life wild. So in December of 2022, I started having extremely itchy scalp, and it was extremely flaky, like beyond any regular dandruff that anybody would ever have. And it got to the point where like my scalp was actually oozing. So I went to the minor emergency because getting an appointment at a dermatologist in Charlotte is like trying to find a four-leaf clover, and you're booked months out. So I went to the minor emergency. The doctor that was on staff then basically said, I'm not a dermatologist, I don't specialize in this, but here are some things that you could try to help keep this at bay. So she gave me some topical ointments, referred me to Charlotte Dermatology, and I was on my way. The cream that she gave me was triamcinolone, which works wonders. It's like hydrocortisone cream to the 10th power. It literally makes eczema a breeze. But then I went to the dermatologist a few weeks later and found out that I had seborrheic dermatitis. Apparently, this is an overgrowth of yeast on your scalp, and it's extremely prevalent in people who have eczema, and it affects more than 3 million people in the United States. And so the yeast overgrowth causes an extremely itchy scalp. It gets irritated, and it's like a whole lot of flakes. I'll see if I can insert some pictures that I had, but my scalp looked crazy. And it was to the point where like my hair was falling out. Like my edges were completely bald. My edges are still on the struggle bus a little bit because I feel like it's after effects, but like it was literally bald. I had bald spots in the back of my head, and my locks were thinning out at the root. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to be bald. Well, the dermatologist ended up prescribing me ketoconazole shampoo for my scalp and a serum called clobetasol, both of which help keep the yeast growth under control, and the seborrheic dermatitis doesn't affect me as bad. But when I went to my wax lady, she told me that she hasn't had a lot of eczema breakouts and issues since she cut back on dairy. So starting in January of 2023, I cut dairy out of my diet. And when I tell you that my skin and scalp did a complete 180, like being dairy free, although it eliminates a lot of good food and dessert, because every dessert seems to have some type of dairy in it because butter is dairy. It was a really good decision for my skin. Like I haven't had any issues with my eczema. While I still use the ketoconazole shampoo and the clobetasol serum here and there, I don't need to use it nearly as much as I was using it before I stopped eating dairy. So that's one thing to consider if you're having skin issues, regular breakouts, issues with eczema. Dairy may be one of the culprits contributing to those breakouts. And so, while it sucks to not be able to eat baked mac and cheese because that was one of my favorites, and not be able to eat regular ice cream, there are some really good non-dairy versions of ice cream out there right now. So Delicious is a good brand for non-dairy ice cream and yogurt. They have ice cream sandwiches as well. So those are some things to consider, but haven't quite figured out the replacement for mac and cheese because non-dairy cheese does not melt well. That is one of my biggest complaints. And it's kind of difficult to be able to go out to eat because you never know what is in the ingredients that you use. So it's a little bit of a hassle to eat out in public, but it was a fairly smooth transition in my own house when I'm able to prepare my own food. So if you have issues with your skin, something to consider is making sure that you're drinking enough water, and you may want to think about cutting out or reducing the amount of dairy intake that you have. I'll probably come back and do more videos about what types of things that I eat, what are some substitutions that actually taste really good, and that could be something for you to consider when you're thinking about making the transition. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and until next time, stay healthy and stay well. Bye.